Tutorial we're going to see how to fine-tune your acrylic brush. We're going to see a few of these examples on other tutorials, and I'm trying through this way to make you understand the brush mechanics a little bit better so that you can change your own brush to reach the point you would say, well, this is exactly what I wanted using brush mechanics. So the first thing we're going to do, we're picking up one brush. I have here acrylic covering brush. And I'm opening the brush mechanics and the general. And like this we can see everything we can change in this brush in this list. So you can see first the stroke that we have through this brush. It's a very compact stroke, and I would like to have it a little bit more hairy and maybe a little bit blending a little bit better, and I don't want the size of the brush to decrease. I would like to have it equally from beginning till the end. So the first thing that I would do is I would go to size, and I'm just saying none to the translation of this brush, and now you can see that it starts and it ends exactly on the same size. The second thing I would like to do is I would like to increase the repetition of the depth, like the distance. I would like to have it smaller. So I'm going to 1%. We can see now that it's even more compact, but it's exactly what I want. And afterwards, I'm going to try to understand how this part works. This is the new part for us. So if you go to general, you're going to see that this is a statische Borste, so it's a static brush. Maybe, I don't know how it's really translated in Painter. But you have the option to be changing a few qualities of this brush, and I'm just making one single stroke here. We can see that it's great in Painter. You have it all kind of translated into images, which is very good to understand what they mean with every single command you have in here. And here you have the option to make every single brush a little bit thinner. It's already looking much nicer, or closer to what I want to have. And I'm going to Verklumpung, and Verklumpung is really showing us like the bristle, how it's going to be thick and thin. And a good thing is, like here I have a preview from my brush, so I can increase or decrease this number. And actually I would keep it more or less the same as it was before, like 76%. And I would like to change the scale. Like for now, the scale is not really what I wanted. I would like to have it larger. So I'm going to something around 740. Now it's looking much more like I would like to have. And we still can see a little bit of the pixel part of the brush, but we're going to see that working with it later is going to be blending a little bit, so it won't be so much of a problem. The last option is the scale size, and this can be more or less the same. I wouldn't change that much. So we can see that the brush starts and ends and has this filigrane kind of hairs, and the only thing that really disturbs me now is that the edges are very strong, and if I'm doing the hair I would like to have something a little bit smoother. So I would work with the opacity of the brush, and instead of having it on none, I'm going to say through pressure. And the minimum is going to be a little bit lower, up, like larger than 0%. And now I have a brush that if I do some pressure, he's going to be giving me more color. And if I do less pressure, he's going to give me less color, so that the edges of the stroke are quite nice. And you can see here that the edges were a little bit too strong. So now I'm going to fill up an area with some kind of a middle tone. I can do it as well with the same brush. My chair likes to make noises. So that we don't have this kind of white coming through. And this is just a test, so that at the moment you start really painting here, you need to be controlling the area where the hair is coming a little bit better. And since we are working with a transparency layer, I can go to save transparency, so that I'm reducing the area in which I'm going to be working already. And I can start working with lightness and darkness. So this was a kind of the middle tone from my hair, and I'm going up a little bit to the yellow and I'm going a little bit more to the white so that I have the lights warmer and with a little bit of tint. And I'm starting to bring up some light areas on the hair. You can see it starts building up as well quite nicely, and you can bring up now the dark areas on it. If you want, you can press option, you get the eyedropper, you pick up the base color, and now you can go a little bit lower to the blue direction and to black, so it makes like a cold shadow. So you're working with warm lights and cold shadows. And you can see that if you're working with the hair, you have really to be aware of the direction that you're painting. If you're going to start painting in every direction, this is not going to work. So you really have to go like in a flow. You have really to see in which direction the hair has to follow. And we have here already, through this opacity control, a very nice blending. But if you would like to blend a little bit more, you can as well go to mixing pads or mixing palettes, and here I would say, instead of giving so much strength, giving so much resaturation, I would just go here on the blending, and I'm going to increase this. So this number should be just higher than the number on the top, and we can then start mixing it a little bit. So it's just not adding so much color anymore, but it's mixing all the informations together. So this is a way for you to transform one tool working with opacity, with the static brushes, and working with the size and with the mixing mode. And I hope I'm starting to make you understand a little bit the brush mechanics, and I'm talking to you in another tutorial to learn a little bit more about brush mechanics on other types of brushes. Okay, talk to you soon.